with hope everything would be possible if we well prepare and if we have synergy thing.
Share with us about biomedical engineering.
Oh, that would be a good question. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm familiar with that. I try to interface the brain with the smart home system. And we have international patent.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm very proud of that. I believe on entrepreneurial mindset. When the government lack of some money, you can change some of the creative content to become the money. If you make the big decision, you need to stay overnight and then you rethink. Because what you need, your frontal brain.
I love how everything comes back to science for you. When you fight, what does it look like?
No, just really keep quiet. Fight, freeze. Yeah, I select that freeze.
บางคนต้องรอถึง1 ปี กว่าจะได้มาที่นี่
คุณแม่ของน้องมานะใจดีนะคะ
ค่ะ
จะขอแจ้งเลื่อนนัดผ่าตัดของน้องออกไปก่อนค่ะ
ถ้ามีห้องผ่าตัดมากพอ ทุกชีวิต
รออีกแป๊บนึงนะ
จะไม่ต้องรอนาน เพราะทุกการบริจาคคือการพาคนที่รักกลับไปหาคนที่รอ
คุณยศธนันท์วงศ์สวัสดิ์อาจารย์เชนสวัสดีครับ
ครับ สวัสดีครับ
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us on Community today.
ครับ Thank you for having me.
We're just weeks away from the big election.
Yes.
You must be very excited, right?
Very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting time.
A little bit nervous about the
which is
result.
Very understandable. Yeah, I'd be nervous too. So and we talked a little bit before about how you get to do things for the first time, right? So what kind of first time things that you get to do, and how did you feel about it?
I think like last 10 years
Yeah.
being on election before, but on that day when we give some of the political speech,
Yeah.
not many people listen to me.
Okay.
But right now many people, and I think the expectation would be very high.
Yeah, everybody listens to you now.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
because you're the first prime ministerial candidate for Pheu Thai Party. So how has life changed since then?
Oh yeah, that would be a lot. I think the routine, responsibility, how to think. You cannot think about yourself. You cannot think about just only one university, but you think about the whole country.
Right.
And also when we see the news, like maybe not from Thailand, from every country, we need to have the answer.
Yeah. So you kind of have to prep yourself with all the answers that you might, get questions from everybody.
Yeah, and
right?
something I'm not familiar. So we need to like call the people, talk with many people.
Yeah.
So I think that would be something change in my life.
Yeah, a lot of homework to do, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every night, every day.
Yeah. So what do your like schedules or routines look like nowadays?
Okay. Wake up in the morning.
Okay. How early?
Yeah.
Like super early,
5
right?
a.m.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
5 a.m. Yeah.
Right.
I think I can have some like exercise, but I cannot. But like we check the schedule and then we prepare some of the speech. And also maybe prepare some PowerPoint slide. The team would prepare something, but I might add on something and then try to remind something
Right.
unclear.
Yeah.
So we call, we talk, and like 7 a.m. ready to go.
Okay. It's super early every
Yeah,
morning.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
every single day, right?
Yeah, some day we walk to the market, and the market actually open very early.
Yeah,
To meet many people.
Yeah.
That would be morning, and during the day. So sometimes you go to like some province, and sometimes you go to the like television channel debate. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that need also to prepare morning and prepare the afternoon.
Right.
Have lunch in the car.
Yeah. The typical
Yeah.
like life of a politician, right?
Yes, yeah. And then you cannot sleep because maybe you have some of the program during the night. Some
Yeah.
television channel would have
Right.
like filming, recording during the night. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and also the debate normally during the night.
Yeah. The debate is a big thing too.
Yes, yeah. I'm not so familiar with debate, but I think getting better.
Yeah. So a lot of preparation, a lot of homework to do, and a lot of campaigning.
Yes.
Yeah. So is it a lot of fun going campaigning and actually meet the people and talk to them?
Yeah, a lot of fun. life changing, but I think that would be the thing I select, and that would be my way that I need to do, and
Okay.
I think I can do much better.
Yeah, you've done much better.
Yeah.
And in a very short period of time too, everything is like jammed in this very short period of time. So yeah, you have no choice but just go, right?
Yeah, just go. But actually, I know a little bit earlier. I try to prepare something, but when some situation you cannot prepare.
Yeah.
The thing is, you need to have that knowledge, and then you talk with many people,
Right.
and also you talk with the team. Yeah.
Right. So you have to improvise and play it by ear sometimes too.
Yeah, I have the big team. We have the
Yeah.
big experienced people
Yeah.
inside the party.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Like being with just a great and huge party. So you've got a lot of help too, a lot of experts that you can count on and work with them, right?
And I think the party is like 24 years already.
Yeah.
Many people we
Right.
can see from the television. So
Right.
right now, we together and then try to do the new policy for the country
Yeah.
at the current era. Yes.
Okay, let's get to know you a little bit more community style because our channel community we are big on words. So we love learning about people through their words. So give us one word that you say all the time. Do you have any like catchphrase?
Yo,
อาจารย์เชนพูดคาว่าอะไรบ่อยที่สุดเลยครับ
when I go for some of the political speech, I would say hope.
Hope.
Yeah, I
Okay.
would say hope for the
Yeah.
people. And then I would like to say that with hope, everything would be possible. Yeah, if we well prepare.
Yeah.
And if we have some like synergy things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. With hope, everything is possible with if you're well prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And synergy would be the key.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
That's
how
a lot
about
of words. Yeah.
yeah? How about one word, one
word.
thing
I
that
would be
you're
hope, yeah.
most
Yeah, I would-
obsessed with now, right now?
Oh, that would be obviously the policy. Yeah, I keep thinking about the policy, whether like the people would benefit from our policy or not. So the range would be from the like baby, the farmer, the worker, the aging people. Yeah, they should get some benefit from our policy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about let's talk about something fun. Animal. Are you a big animal lover?
Yeah.
You have pets?
I don't have pet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I think something strong, something fast would be horse, maybe horse.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's the kind of animal that you see yourself most similar to in terms of like traits or personality.
Yeah, as a professor, actually, I think about unicorn, but it's not
Unicorn?
real. But it's not real.
But well, that counts, I guess. Unicorn. So it's very special, very mythical.
Yeah. It would be something like polite, healthy,
Okay.
good health.
With some magical power.
Yes,
Okay, that's right. Okay.
but with my two able hand.
Okay. All right. So, how about one fascinating fact that you would like to share with us about biomedical engineering?
Oh, that would be a good question. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
when the people talk about biomedical engineering, you talk about how to fix some stuff inside the hospital.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be just only one part of that things that we call clinical engineer. Yeah, how can you make some maintenance for all the medical equipment? How can you build the medical device? So that would be just only one area. We normally roughly categorize into 6 area. Yeah, the first would be neuroengineering, biomedical signal processing, like my area, the brain-computer interface. How can you interface with the computer by using the brain signal? Yeah, how can you make some alarm from the ECG, the heart signal?
Right.
And secondly would be drug discovery system and tissue engineering. So that would be a little bit on the chemistry. Yeah. And the third area would be AI in medicine. Yeah, everyone familiar. Radiology. How can you make some software, and then how can you integrate medical data with AI? Yeah. And the fourth one would be medical robotics, surgical robot. You can see some like Da Vinci robot inside the surgery room. Yeah, that would be designed by biomedical engineer and maybe implement by electrical engineer, mechanical engineer. And the fifth one, artificial organ and rehabilitation. The heart lung machine inside the surgery room. When you need to pause your heart, maybe you need some blood butt pump.
Okay.
Yeah. So to make the body stay, and also the last one we call medical instrument biosensor. Yeah. So all the thing to be easy when you walk through the hospital, you can see many type of doctor like orthopedic doctor, surgeon, dentist, and just like traditional doctor that use medication. Yeah. So that would be the thing. They use many kind of equipment, many kind of software. So that would be another thing to see what would be the aspect on biomedical engineer.
Yeah. It's a very, very big picture.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
one thing, but it's many
Yeah,
things.
we call multidisciplinary area.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to study physiology, anatomy, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer,
Yeah.
chemistry, material science,
Right.
all combined, but would be related to healthcare.
Do we have enough people or enough personnel in this area for Thailand right now?
Not yet. I think we need to produce a lot more, and
Right.
that would be the things we try to encourage the people for the wellness economy.
Right.
And when you have demand for medical service,
Yeah.
you obviously need biomedical engineer
Sure.
to serve that service.
But it seems like the trend, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody is now like
Yeah,
realized how important this science is for
Yeah, yeah.
our life. So
Yes.
so how is the trend right now? People are getting more and more in this area.
Yeah, when you see the like industrial 4.0, that would be most on AI. But if you go beyond that, that would be healthcare.
Okay.
So that's why when we have the demand for healthcare, you need some instrumentation, you need some new kind of therapy, so you need the device. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. How about one thing people misunderstand the most about human brain?
Oh, human brain. Actually, I'm not medical doctor, but I'm neuroengineer. So
Okay.
maybe I talk something on this aspect. We work on brain-computer interface. So that means we need to know how the brain is working in real times. Yeah. So for example, you go straight, that would be easy for me to make some detection. Okay. Because the brain would be different when you go to the left, right, and then maybe forward. But if you go around, you jump, I cannot obviously say that this is the motion of jump. You think about like chicken rice. I cannot say something that you think about what would be the picture.
Okay.
I know just only you visualize something, but we cannot make that be
You
the
cannot
picture.
see the actual picture
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you're visualizing.
Yeah. And emotion, deep emotion. So I think straight, it's okay. But if you feel like fear and afraid, and also a little bit fear or more, I cannot make I cannot differentiate that.
Okay. So it's not that like deliberate yet.
Yeah, because that would be something in the cortex, close to the scalp.
Okay.
But something in the brain has a layer. The deep brain, the brain that would be inside the memory area, we cannot see the brain signal.
Okay.
Yeah, so that need to go through some other kind of imaging, like put you into the MRI, functional MRI,
Okay.
CT scan, PET CT. Yeah,
Right.
that would need many modality. But
Yeah.
if you do that, you lack of some real time processing. Yeah.
Okay. But are we heading towards that like sci-fi technology?
Yeah. You know, that would be something, but I think that would be assistive technology. Yeah. So if you think about disabled people, so they cannot move at all, they
Right.
cannot talk.
Right.
But once we can interface the brain with some computer, we can have the new communication link with the computer so that they can communicate again. But if they cannot move, how can we make the interface from the brain to the wheelchair so that they can move by themselves?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So maybe change for the technology, and then how can you make the like human right happen?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. You are an inventor. You have invented or innovated a lot of stuff. So, what would be one invention that you're most proud of?
Yeah. The thing is, I try to interface the brain with the smart home system. Yeah. When they cannot move at all, 24 hours they need assistance. So we try to invent some innovation to interface the brain with the smart home. They can watch TV, they can listen to like radio, they can talk to the people inside the computer.
Yeah.
With that thing, we have the international patent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm very proud of that. Yeah.
Nice,
And some
yeah.
of the students license this technology and then to make their own startup company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of your students, what can you think of one thought-provoking question that you get asked from your students in the class, and maybe you find that very tricky or even fun to answer?
I'm
What kind of question would that be?
thinking about that. I'm the professor for 17 years inside university. I think that
Yeah.
maybe back to 15 years ago.
Okay.
The question would be, it's fancy with my discipline, with my area, brain-computer interface. Yeah, the student love to do that, love to implement that project. But they ask me, like, I'm the professor working on research on this one. Is fancy, it's nice, it's breakthrough.
Yeah.
But how about them? Graduate bachelor degree with brain-computer interface degree. What would be the job?
Right. And what
Yeah.
was your answer?
I spent like a years to answer this question. Yeah. And so finally I found out that this is a blue ocean thing. Okay. If you go to the medical instrumentation company, that would be red ocean. Many people work on that area. But if we can do something by ourselves, I think that would be fine. You would be the product owner. So the key would be startup company. So I start working on that startup company. So I try to make myself clear about the intellectual property, not just only a research paper. And then how can we get some funding, not just only funding from the government, but startup need funding from angel fund,
Yeah.
from venture capital. And also we groom by incubator, not the university. Yeah. And then we need to link with the manufacturing, with the big corporate, so that they might acquire this startup company and then make this one the new product. Yeah. So that would be the huge change. And another thing would be something I learned. You cannot sell this product because the demand would not be enough for just only one country. But if you work on brain-computer interface, maybe you can sell like 10 items a year. How can you survive? But inside the world, a lot of people, a lot of disabled people, yeah, you can do that with some rich country, and then you take some of the profit, give for free for Thai people. Yeah, so that would be some lesson learned, some model.
Yeah.
Yeah, startup company,
Right.
product owner, content creator. Yeah,
I see. And I can definitely see why that question is so hard to answer, because it's not like one short answer. It involves a lot of stakeholders, a lot of people. So are you usually good with handling hard questions? Because that would be something that you will get thrown at a lot, like some curveball questions from the media, from a lot of people
yeah.
to the PM.
Yes. I think that would be the good thing. So I need to answer something from the principle. Yeah. So I think principle is very important.
Okay.
Like if you cannot have principle, you cannot answer. So that would be something based on some of the deep understanding of something, some philosophy, some basic science.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be the thing. What I try to learn would be what would be the discipline, what would be the principle for this thing,
I see.
and then I can answer every question. That would be how you can solve the complex
Right.
problem. Yeah.
Right. And how? What would you do if you have to answer something that you don't know, like no knowledge of?
I can say that I need to say that I'm not the expert on that area. But this would be something about my opinion. Yeah. With some opinion, actually, I can change my opinion if I know
Right.
a lot more things.
Yeah. Because a lot of people might expect the PM or the leader to know everything, right?
Yeah,
but
that would be,
that's not possible.
Yeah, that would not possible. But the thing would be principle, and the key would be for if you represent Thai country, yeah, that would be the benefit for your country. Yeah, that would be the principle for answer the question. Yeah.
So, what would you think is the one most important quality for the next Prime Minister of Thailand?
For me, I believe that right now there would be a lot of problem going on economic problem, climate change. That the key would be the technology disruption. Yeah. When AI coming, what happened to the country? AI coming, what happened to the healthcare? What happened to the farmer? Yeah. So we need to adapt with that technology disruption. So I think that would be the kind of skill for the next election.
Yeah. So obviously, you and Pheu Thai Party puts a lot of importance on the technology and science because that would help us go forward.
Go forward, and then we can talk with other country in the same language.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree. So what would be one change that you think Thai people need the most right now?
I think for me, I believe on like entrepreneurial mindset. Yeah. So I think that would be the key. Why it's important. So the benefit of Thailand would be Thai people, and Thai people actually come with the creativity, growth mindset, problem solving. Yeah. So that thing, opportunity finding, innovation. So I think all the thing would combine to be the entrepreneurial mindset. Not just only commercialize,
right?
But you need entrepreneur. And then that would change the country. When the government lack of some money, you can think about possibility. You can think about new opportunity. You can change some of the creative content to become the opportunity to become the money.
I see. Okay. Can you give us one secret, not so secret, about a long and healthy love life? You've been married for 16 years, right? You have 2 children and very healthy and happy family. What's your secret to that?
Yes, 16 is something like before I get married with my wife. We know each other for 16 years.
Ooh. Yeah. So 16 plus 16?
Yeah, now 16 plus 10.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's 26.
Yes.
I see. Yeah.
The key would be empathy. Yeah, I think empathy. Yeah.
So try to understand each other.
Yes, we try to understand each other. We talk, we listen to each other, and then we give the room. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be something we might need to respect her idea. I need to expect her idea, and then maybe I just keep calm.
Okay. So do you guys fight at all? And when you fight, what does it look like?
No, just only keep quiet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the human fight, freeze. Yeah, I select that freeze.
Fight and freeze. You freeze.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that your philosophy too? Happy wife, happy life?
Yes, I think when the thing is, if you make the big decision, you need to stay overnight and then you rethink again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that would be just really the key for human.
I see. Like sleep on it for a night.
Yeah.
Don't make too quick of a decision.
Yeah. Because what the brain, you need your frontal brain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, normally make decision based on that frontal brain. But if you think about a lot of things, maybe over the day, your brain actually fatigue, and then they think about many things. Cannot let something go. But when you sleep, everything reset, and then you have like more energy to think about that thing again. And if you can think about the same thing, it's okay. But if you change decision, so that means the first decision would be wrong.
Right. Oh, speaking like a true scientist. I love how everything comes back to science for you. So you use science a lot to help you make decision or to like do things in life, I guess.
But the first priority of human would be emotion. But emotion would be good on something. But with big decision, you make logical thinking. You need logical thinking. So you maybe stay overnight, and then if you would like to pay maybe like more than 100,000 baht, you cannot do within one day. Go back home and then come back again.
Right. You seem like the kind of person who doesn't get angry that easily. You look very calm and very cool, calm, collected kind of guy. So what would be one thing that never fails to make you super angry?
I think maybe like unreasonable behavior.
Unreasonable? How so? Like for example?
The thing about themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think with that thing, I'm not so happy with yeah, this kind of people. Actually, think about yourself. It's okay. It's not that bad.
Right,
Okay.
right.
But also you might need to think about some other people. Also, it would be some win-win. Yeah, win-win situation. Yeah.
I see. What would be one hardest thing about being a politician?
Oh yeah. I
So
think,
this is a new role in your life.
new role.
Yeah.
To give some of the political speech. Maybe like we call like high park or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be critical for me to explain something within short period of times.
Okay. Yeah.
I normally need some time to think and then say something. Reason, what will be the problem? This is the solution. This is a conclusion.
Right. But you've been giving lectures in front of the class for like 17 years, right?
Yes, 17
Yeah.
years.
So how different is it from giving lectures and like giving speech as a politician?
I think that's totally different because when you teach some of the students, they come to the class, they expect some knowledge, and then they give them, and then I know the audience, I know them.
I see.
know that.
Yeah.
I know that. They are engineer, they are biomedical engineer. They want this knowledge,
Okay. And you speak the same language?
same language.
Right.
But when we talk about that political campaign or the speech, we cannot know exactly what would be the need of the individual. So I think that would be really tough. You cannot see their eye because it's like so far.
okay.
And then you cannot see what's going on. So you need to expect and prepare something like for many people. So I think that would be the tough thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether like they're farmer, they do some of their own company, it's SME. Yeah, so they want different things.
Yeah. And they might even heckle you. Try to rile you up. Yeah. So that you have to be prepared for also
Yes.
emotionally.
Yeah, yes.
To not just like I have all the information and they're here to learn. It's not as simple as that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. With the political world.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
totally different.
Okay. I want to know who would be one person, like non-political person, that you really admire, and you might think, they're so incredible.
Yeah, I meet one professor when I go for the I bring the disabled people for the Cyborg Olympic. Yeah, I think 2016. Yeah, many years ago, and I meet one professor named Hugh He from MIT Media Lab. Yeah, and I see his TED talk before. Yeah, he's so smart, but he's amputee. So he have no leg because he have accident climbing the mountain, and then he would be the amputee for since like 10, 12, around that age.
Right.
What happened with him? He studied mechanical engineer, built his own prosthesis.
Wow.
Yeah, and then try to interface his prosthesis with his nerve. Yeah. And then he tried to build this thing for many people, lack of opportunity for many countries, and become the professor at MIT.
Wow.
Yeah. So the passion for himself make the world happy. Yeah. So I think that would be the thing.
Yeah.
I want to do.
Yeah. So start with solving your own problem.
Yes,
And
yes.
then share it with the world.
Yes.
Wow. Very admirable. Yeah. Can you probably like close your eyes and think of Thailand in the year 2030, let's say? What do you see? What does it look like? Can you paint the picture for us?
Yeah, I think that would be some high tech country with high income country for all the people. The people would be rich.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good picture to have.
Yeah,
So high technology and prosperity, like
Yeah.
rich.
How to do that? If we segment people into layer, so we need to help all the layer of the people to become rich country. Not just only some group of people that become rich, but a lot of people would be poor. Yeah. So that would be strategy. That would be policy. Existing engine would be the one we propose for the campaign. How can you make that existing industry combined with science and technology to maybe enhance the productivity of that thing? And the second thing would be find a new growth engine. Some people say new S curve. Yeah, that would be same thing. Agriculture, manufacturing, service, high value service, like wellness, economy, on something. When you have the high value service, the people get higher income. Yeah. And then when we need to do something with the people, lack of money, maybe the debt burden, we need to clear up for them, and maybe some of the scientists, we also need to give the room for them to improve on every angle of the need of the country, like agriculture would be precision agriculture, change from food security to the food and nutrition security, the future food, semiconductor, many aspects that we need to think about the new policy.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to be done, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but if you actually win and become the next prime minister, what would be the first policy that you want to push forward, like actually put in action?
Yeah, I think the key would be leveraging for the digital government. Yeah, I think that would
Digital
be the thing.
government.
Yeah, digital government would be critical. So if you can do that, digital government, so that means reduce the corruption. And also, if you have digital government, that means you have all data of all the people. You can help people individually. Like they're very poor people, you know the reason why, and then you know how to help them because we pull all the data. Digital government, not just only like one-stop service, but we know the data. We can use AI. We have the policy called AI for all. So you need to collect all the data and then you combine them, make decision like disaster. How can you help this group of people getting more money? What would be the incentive for SME? What would be the chance that government might have the demand? Where would be the people can contribute to this demand? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, digital government.
Yeah. And how about one policy that you think would be most beneficial for Thai youth, like the young people, young
okay.
Thais?
I think two things, education reform and also the innovation ecosystem.
Yeah.
So both of them need to like come together.
So reform how?
Yeah. For example, if you benchmarking, you compare education of Thai people with Singapore, with Hong Kong. Yeah. In one classroom, you have only Thai friend, and then when you graduate, you expect to work in Thai company in the country. Okay. But the people study in Singapore, they have the friend from all over the world. And then they study in Singapore, they can work everywhere in the world because they are a very small country. In Hong Kong also, my friend get PhD in Hong Kong and then become the professor in the US, in UK. And that would be different scenario. Internationalization would be the key for education.
I see.
Two things, internationalization and the coming of AI. Yeah. The student need critical thinking. Yeah. So that would be the thing. I try to reform the education for being more internationalization. That means more opportunity for the thing. For example, if you study something and then you cannot see the job in Thailand, normally Thai student would say that, oh no, I cannot have the job.
There's no market.
But that's a lot of opportunity around the world.
Right.
So English would be the key. So that's why I admire like Kamni D.
Oh, thank you so much. I want to ask you about this too because our channel put a lot of stress on the importance of studying language and being able to communicate with the world, like using English. So you're in education. So what do you think about Thailand's education in terms of like language education? Do we still need to have a stronger language education now that we have other kinds of help like technology or AI and stuff? Or do you think it's still important?
Yeah, that would be the key. So if you segment the how to learn something, you need to learn for becoming the human, the human skill. I can say human skill, communication on every language. Yeah, if you can talk with many people, you can understand them. But if you can talk only Thai, you know just only Thai style. But if you can speak English, Chinese, yeah, maybe you have more opportunity to do a lot of things, and then you can your mindset would change a lot when you understand different language, not just only something you cannot find the reason
Right.
in the Thai textbook, but if you read English, you can see a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that would be one opportunity. When I say AI would be the your friend. If you would like to speak English, AI can help. Yeah, and maybe AI would be some inspiration for you on some aspect. You can see the big picture, the clear picture by talking with that, and also critical thinking. What I mentioned, when you talk with AI, you need to say something like, "Can I believe that?"
Okay.
So you also need some education together,
see.
to stay with AI. Yeah. So I think two of them would be mandatory. Yeah,
Right.
in my idea.
Yeah. Do you have any tips on like learning the language or how to improve your English?
I think go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
Like,
Yeah.
as in, do not be too afraid to make mistakes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't worry, because
don't worry.
if you cannot try, if you would not start, it's impossible that you would expert on something.
Yeah.
I try to say that I'm engineer, but if you are not engineer, what would be the difference? That would be just really 4 years of college in college, but the first year would be general knowledge, right? So just only 3 years that make one guy become engineer and
Right.
one guy become like the language expert or in other area like doctor. So that 3 years you can relearn something for 3 years and then you become the engineer.
Yeah.
So don't let the discipline or your degree actually restrict you
Yeah.
from being something that you want. Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay. Just go for it and
Yeah.
start now.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great tip. Okay. So as we can see, this election happens very, very fast. So a lot of people don't even have time to do their homework. I mean, the voters, a lot of them don't even know who to vote for at the moment. So what message do you have for those who are still on the fence right now? Like, I don't know who to vote for.
So I think you need to think about the policy of each of the party, and then you think back for yourself, your family. What will be the future that your family look for, and then the leader have experience or they say something on behalf of their expert or not. Yeah. So I think that would be the good thing. Synergy is very important. So I encourage this wording synergy. It's very important. Why? Because if you want something possible, you actually need many people with many discipline, and diversity and synergy would be the key for the success. Yeah. For example, if you want to build a big machine, maybe a medical device, MRI machine, okay, in 3 months, everyone would think that it would be impossible. But if I bring like 10 Nobel Prize in physics, manufacturing, Hitachi, like Toshiba, many big guy, rich people together in one room. 3 months would be enough, to do everything. So, dream, vision, synergy. You need to know how to talk with all the people, not only inside the country, but inside the world. And how can the world help you? You need to give them something. So you need to know that what would be the strength of Thailand. And then when you make negotiation, you need to bring that thing. Not just only talk with them, but you need to know all your asset inside the country. So I think that would be the whole thing that the people, the voter, maybe need to study.
Right. So from your point of view, what would be the strength of Thailand, and what is the strength of the Thai Party?
Strength of Thailand would be Thai people, creativity, and then open mindset, smile, and then can work with every people. So I think that would be benefit.
Right.
But in Thailand, connectivity is very important. So we have the border, left hand side close to India, China, a lot huge market. So that connectivity would be the benefit, advantage for the location of Thai country, of Thailand. And with Pheu Thai Party, we have experience. we are like 24 years already. We have the asset would be the people, the maybe the people getting old, but they actually has a lot of experience. They can be the assistant to execute some of the very difficult policy to make the policy to be a reality. That would be something. And also we have the new generation come for เพื่อไทย. We have the academy. Yeah. So with some of this nice combination and with my vision on making Thailand would be the rich country with science and technology, I think that would be advantage of เพื่อไทย party.
Right. You might be very new to this, but I can see the energy, I can see the fire in you, and I can see that you will give your more than 100% to this. So I wish you all the luck, and thank you so much for coming to the show today. I have a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I get to know you more. So before we say goodbye today, of course, our show being called Comedy, I cannot let you leave without asking you to share some of your favorite words.
Favorite word.
Yeah คำนี้ดีของอาจารย์เชนคือคำว่าอะไรครับ
Possibility.
possibility that's a good word
Yes, possibility. Because possibility would come from the synergy and diversity would be the key.
yeah and it's definitely a possibility that we will have the next PM as อาจารย์เชนนะครับ so thank you so much ขอบคุณมากครับ
ครับขอบคุณครับนี่ครับ